telling me not to go back to Chicago?
That's right, baby. I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here. Look, I know things will be rough for a while, and I can't help you the way I did. I mean, I gotta make sure my own interests are protected. But who knows? In fact, they're changing already.
Yeah?
Oh. Well, first thing, Kevin has left finally. He and his darling Geraldine had a fight, and he's gone.
Here he is? Where's my drink? You know what?
What?
The fact that Kevin's gone isn't going to make Geraldine like you any better.
She'll get to like me better. I mean, after all, I'm making your daughter-in-law a good husband these days. A very good husband.
My God!
Geraldine, what are you doing here? You went to the airport. I saw you leave.
Whitney, I brought us for a drink. And we got to drinking.
That's right. We got to drinking, and I got drunk. I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, when you have too much to drink, we do crazy things, don't we? What are you doing here? This house was supposed to be empty.
Does anything at all? But fortunately, I came back alone. I changed my mind. I sent Tiffany off by herself. Don't tell me there isn't a providence. There must be. Because I came back to this house tonight to witness the truth.
Geraldine, I'm admitting I was wrong. I'm admitting I made a mistake, all right?
How noble of you.
I mean, the young lady came to deliver something, and we got to talking, and we got to drinking too much.
The young lady? Oh, God, no. Do you really think I'm that much of an idiot? Do you think I don't recognize Tracy Dallas? Why, I know every detail of her life. Did you think I would know her face?
Excuse me,
You will remain right where you are, Miss Dallas.
Look, let her go. We'll talk this over privately.
This is quite private enough. No. I have something to say to you, too.
But you see, I don't have to listen. Because you mean nothing to me.
Oh, my dear, that's where you're quite wrong. I'm your Boswell, Miss Dallas.
My what?
I could be your biographer. Why, I'm the one person in the world who knows everything about you. I know more ugly facts about your past than you may even remember.
No, will you please let it stop?
My investigators were very thorough. As a matter of fact, a little too thorough. They told me more about your sordid little life than I cared to hear. Why, I can give you the apartment number in that house in Chicago.
Geraldine,
I can give you a list of names of the girls with whom you worked in that house. Would you like to see that list? Oh, and your police record. I have that, too.
Police record? I was never in prison in my life.
Now, one doesn't have to be in prison to have a police record. You were arrested, weren't you? I can give you the exact date. Oh, I must say that I could even give you the newspaper clipping. You certainly photographed rather well, you and all those other girls.
You wouldn't do anything with them. I mean, you wouldn't show them like Mrs. Douglas or anyone.
I'm through keeping secrets, Miss Dallas, yours or anyone else's.
Geraldine, I'll say one more time.
No, you will not. You will not say one more thing in this house. You will leave this house at once. Both of you. I said both of you.
Well, let's talk, for God's sake.
Get out, Noel. Take that girl and go somewhere else for your recreation. Why don't you take her to that apartment that you're paying for with Tiffany's money?
Is it wrong to leave like
I
this?
said get out. Stay away from this house. Tiffany may want you back for one last look, but I can't bear the sight of you.
everything but his name.
Well, there's no reason that you shouldn't know that we have found somebody who promises to tell us all. The only problem is, so far, he hasn't come up with any proof to support his accusations.
But he has made accusations.
Yes, he's made them.
About people we know.
Yes.
John Dallas.
John Dallas.
What do you think about that, Brandy? Do you think he's going back to work for us?
I don't know. Seems like something's going on, though. His disappearance, for example.
Well, I know that there's a contract out for his life.
Yes, that's true. Well, that's the story. That's not substantiated either. It might be true that he double-crossed somebody in the syndicate, and they want revenge. Do you think?
I don't know. But the ominous thing about it is the fact that he hasn't contacted anybody.
It was emphasized that no criminal charges were being pressed against the owner of the New Moon Cafe, but the police were issuing instructions to their personnel to remain on the alert for his apprehension. Police Chief William Marceau told reporters that Mr. Dallas is not being sought for purposes of arrest, only to clarify certain situations regarding the incident. He added that anyone who had information regarding John Dallas's whereabouts get in touch with the police immediately. Lieutenant Lucas Chandler, Chief Marceau's second in command, said that he hopes Mr. Dallas returns for his own good. His own good. Mother, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Of course, they don't have the benefit of knowing about Johnny and me. They don't know that his real reason for running away was his wife.
That's what you think, Laurie, and I think that you are guessing.
You're right. Maybe they do know. Well? Well, what? Bill knows about the trouble Johnny and I have been having, doesn't he? Does he know that I told Johnny I was through with him, that I never wanted to see him again?
Yes. Yes, he does know. Your father thought it would be best to tell Bill, just in case it had any bearing.
Why are the police worrying so much about finding Johnny? I mean, why are they worrying about a runaway husband?
Oh, honey, please don't call him that. He's not a runaway. Johnny is... Honey, he's confused. He's a worried man. Surely you can understand how he feels. You must know how unhappy he is.
Mother, I know that unhappy people run away, but so do the police, so why this?
Laurie, what is it in that article that bothers you so much?
I don't know, Mother. It's just something about it, about the tone of it. Is there something about all this that I don't know? Something about Johnny?
Why do you say that?
Do the police know something that I don't?
Well, Chief of Police is right out there. Why don't you ask him?
Yeah, I think I will.
In a few minutes, though, honey. I mean, I think that he and your dad want a little more privacy still, so why don't you give him a little more time, all right?
All right.
Mike, let's assume that what LePage said is the truth. That Kincaid is now the #1 man in the mob. All right, so the big wheel comes into the Blue Moon, nearly gets his head bashed in by Johnny Dallas. Question why?
Even LePage can't answer that one.
Well, maybe we can find the answer.
Bill, maybe it had nothing to do with the mob. Maybe Kincaid said something that made Johnny angry.
All right. They had words. The words led to violence. Kincaid got his head beat and Johnny takes off.
Now, second assumption, there's a contract out on Johnny. Probably put out by Kincaid, assuming he was angry enough.
Well, why would he be?
A half-inch one way or the other, and Johnny would have creamed him permanently. If he really is the big wheel, he wouldn't stop at murder to pay somebody back.
There's no doubt in my mind, Mike, that...
Not the contract, all right? So he'll deny it. The point is that once he realizes how much we know, he may then be afraid to run the risk of going through with the contract, and he might call it off. Maybe. And maybe not.
Well, there is a chance that it might be too late.
If only Johnny would get in touch with us, at least we could warn him about what's happening.
There is one thing that we can do, Mike.
We could release the whole story to the press. The whole truth. The fact that there is a contract out on Johnny's life, that his life is in danger. But that tips our hand, too. Do you have an alternative, Mike? something tells me you want me to make this decision. He's your son-in-law, Mike.
Our story continues after this message.
Oh, Adam, I don't see how you live up there. It sounds so disorganized.
Isn't it pitiful? I need to be organized. That's why I need you up there, Brandy. I need you to organize me.
How can I say no?
You can't.
Well, I don't have too much to do tomorrow if you don't have
No. Uh-oh. Spot.
What is it? Is it all off now?
No. I just think about my conversation with Geraldine. I think maybe I better go. Oh, waiter. Does that thing work? Can I use that?
Yes.
Nicole, Noel will find out what the number is for Geraldine down in Washington. Find out if what she wants me to do is urgent. I don't think it is urgent, considering the fact that she said that all she wanted me to do was revise the will. And I don't think that that has to be done by tomorrow. It's funny, there's no answer.
Why is it funny?
No, it's very strange. Even if Noel hasn't gotten home, there's always Trudy and John. One of them ought to have.
Darling, this is ghoulish.
Don't say things like that, you
But it is. It's a form of voyeurism, staring down at a poor woman who can do nothing more than stare at the ceiling. I'm sorry, darling, but I'm telling the truth.
You had a choice. You didn't have to come.
Oh, yes. But you were so upset about the last time I refused. Well, I can see that no amount of common sense will change your mind. That's why you visit the hospital daily, and that's why you send Kevin off to Paris on some wild goose chase.
No. I gave you permission never to come back here again. I give you permission to leave right now.
Haven't you had enough yet?
No. I'd rather stay with Mother for a while.
I see. So you could watch her perform some more of her tricks, like popping open her eyes.
Get out.
I'll see you at home. Guess who?
No.
That's right. How are you, baby?
You really interested?
Of course I am. I'm interested in everything about you, Tracy.
It wasn't very long ago, Noel, that you said you didn't want to see me again. Do you remember that?
Yes, I know, but look, you were getting to be a pest there for a while. But now you're back to being the fascinating female you always were.
Is that so?
That's right, baby. In fact, I'm so fascinated that I can't wait to see you. That's why I'm calling, so we could arrange a little rendezvous. That's a switch, huh?
It certainly is a switch. So there must be a catch to it.
No, there's no catch. I just wanted to see you again, that's all. Just see you and talk to you. I want to hear all about you, honey. I especially want to hear how you pushed that nice lady down those stairs.
I should have known it was about that. I should never have told you that.
Who else would you tell, Kevin? Not that he wouldn't be interested, since the police suspect he did it.
I understand. You just want to gloat a little bit, is that it?
No, look, honey, you got me all wrong. I never wanted to see you more in my whole life.
Well, I can't meet you the way we used to, Noel. Not anymore. I will see you for a drink, but that's all. You gotta remember I'm engaged now.
Don't worry, Tracy. All we'll do is talk.
That's right. And you better not tell anybody anything about what I say. Because you know nothing can happen to me that can't happen to you, Noel. If anybody finds out anything about that night, you have a lot more to lose than I do.
Hey. Look, don't threaten an old buddy, Tracy. Let's just arrange a time and place, huh?
I think you know how I feel about this case. I don't consider it an adversary proceeding. It's not important who wins, Serena or her ex-husband. The important thing is Timmy's welfare.
I agree.
Now, if you can convince the judge that a cure is possible, I think we have a good chance of postponing the judgment on final custody.
Hi.
Hi.
So, how are you?
Well, I got in at 1 o'clock last night, and I have to be at the airport again in an hour.
Got your plane ticket?
Yes, I was just checking on my arrival time. I am going to have 1 case of jet lag, believe me.
Oh, what time did you get there?
4 o'clock in the morning at Orly Field in Paris.
Oh, that's because of the time change. What is it, 6 hours ahead of us?
Well, actually, it's not so bad, because by the time I get the cab driver to understand me well enough to take me to my hotel, it's going to be 8 in the morning, and I'll be ready to start the day.
Come on, Kevin. You didn't do so badly the last time.
Well, last time I was in the care of a group of English journalists. This time, I've got to visit a French hospital and make myself understood.
That does sound a little more difficult.
It's not quite that bad. The Dr. Calmet, he spoke English fairly well. And I think the patient speaks English, too.
Well, that's terrific. That's lucky for you. You don't seem particularly ecstatic about making this trip.
No, I'm not even certain if the trip will do any good, Phoebe. If you want to know the truth, I don't think it will. But even if I can't help Geraldine, I suppose it's doing Tiffany good.
Well, you know, Kevin, I was wondering, this patient that you're going to see, this French woman, is her case anything at all like Geraldine's?
Well, I don't know how she came to be in a coma. I just know that she recovered, at least well enough to leave the hospital and take her own apartment.
So it was a complete cure?
Well, not exactly a complete cure. You see, the lady doesn't know who she is.
Dr. Claremont, you kept your promise after all.
My first house call in months is for you, Nicole.
Ah, but you're not here as my physician. You're here as my friend. Come in.
I know. I have lost your patronage since you have your personal physician, Dr. Jordan.
Ah, now he's my friend, too. You see, I have absolutely no need of physicians anymore. All I really need is friends. I need them more than anything else in this world. Recollection of it. Nor of Guadeloupe, for that matter.
They are coming to Paris on that last. I don't know if she's coming herself or if she's sending someone, but
To see you or to see me?
both of us, I assume. You as my miracle and me as your physician. But I have already warned the lady that there is very little I can say.
Then you didn't mention Dr. Jordan to her.
No, my dear. This is something I leave entirely to you.
Grounds that 1 case case doesn't necessarily resemble the other.
And be on pretty solid ground, too. No, I guess that's not the answer. I suppose I'll just have to go along with what you just suggested and carry the ball myself. That's my next patient.
Oh, I've overstayed my visit, Clinton.
Mrs. Faraday.
What happened to, your girl?
She had an early lunch date.
I didn't know anybody else was here.
I was just leaving, Serena.
Oh, well, that's all right. Don't rush away on my account. I can stay outside. Wait a second. What's going on here? You two having a legal discussion?
Yes, that's it. We're having a legal discussion, Josie.
Our story continues after this message.
Then don't you think you want to help her, Josie?
Help her how?
By not spoiling her chances of winning the case.
Don't worry. It won't spoil a thing.
You might. If you show up in the judge's chambers tomorrow, the case will be lost.
Gee, now, that's not a very nice thing to say to me, is it?
I'm sure you understand what Mike is saying, Josie. Mark Faraday is basing his entire case on the premise that Serena is an unfit mother.
That's crazy. Look, she's a lot of things. I mean, she's stupid, she's dull, she's dumb, she's mouthy, but she's a good mother. She loves that kid. He's the only thing in the whole world she cares about.
And you don't want her to lose, do you?
Now, how's she gonna lose? She's got a hot-shot lawyer. You're the best in the business, aren't you, honey?
This case is a lot more difficult than you realize.
And I'm the difficulty. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Well, I'm afraid that Judge Sussman wouldn't understand about you, Josie.
She won't have to understand, will she? Because you don't intend to go to court tomorrow, do you?
I don't know yet.
Josie.
You stop. Look, I don't like being told what to do and what not to do.
Josie, your interest and Serena's are one and the same.
The hell you say?
Truth. Particularly when that interest is Timmy. And unless you leave Serena alone, unless you let her handle this custody suit, you're going to spoil everything for both of you.
Leave me alone. I don't want to be lectured. I didn't come here for that.
Josie, think about this very carefully. Only Serena must come to court tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Get rid of him. Get him out of here. Come on, it's your office. You can get him out.
I won't do that.
Okay, then I go. That's it. I leave now.
Josie, wait. Well, now what?
If she shows up tomorrow, it's all over.
That's very funny. Mark is dead. Serena's dead. And they won't charge me with murder. My ring. Oh, well, it's lost. Both of them, my wedding ring, my engagement ring. You know, they were very, very beautiful, too. Just as beautiful as the one he gave Brandy. Oh, Nicole, what's the matter? Pain in my head. What kind of a pain? What? Crazy stabbing. Oh, it's absolutely insane. I was just talking about the rings I wear on my left hand, and shall I get you some water? A drink? It's all right. Oh, it's going away now. Just sit here very quietly for a moment.
About the real truth. I'm sorry, Adam. It took me so long to get through my thick head. Well, as long as we're both in agreement.
Judge?
Yes.
Is she going to be put in an institution?
We will do everything in our power to help the woman, Mrs. Karr. You may rest assured of that. She won't have to be put in a cell, will she?
No, Doctor. In this case, I think remaining in the infirmary will be best until this case is disposed of, frankly.
Good. If arrangements could be made for me to visit her periodically, I would appreciate it.
I'm quite sure that can be arranged.
Thank you.
She's asleep. Why don't we get out of here?